Good to get a night's sleep and start today over fresh.
Yeah, we'll travel back, look at some things, and get ready for Game 5.
Do you feel like there's a reason that the swings have been so significant from game to game? Does it feel like the adjustments have been big?
I don't think so, to be honest with you. I mean, there's certain things you always look at to do. I think it's urgency levels from the team that lost the previous game seems to have more urgency. I know I just look at our first goal and we didn't have any urgency. I mean, it's a simple rim in that gets by our goaltender, so now our D has it. We don't play north, things we talk about. We go back into their forecheck, and good for them. Give them credit. They create a loose puck situation, and we're not urgent in front of our net, and now we're chasing the game. So there's a little bit of that going on for each team. I also think what you got in this series is you've got some goaltenders that haven't played a lot of playoff hockey, so sometimes that can affect outcomes of games. I don't know if both goalies in each team have had their A game at the same time in this series. That might explain a little bit of it. I'm not putting it on the goaltenders, but there's a little bit of that going on. And you see that through different parts of the league as well. In other series this year, it seems like there's a little more of that. But after that, no, I just think the team that's lost the game has been the better, played better the next game.
Pietrangelo has his meeting. Any thoughts on it? And did you think it was just a culmination of stuff that happened with him over the course?
Well, he'll go through that. My thoughts, don't matter, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, he's got a hearing. He's had no history of suspension or been called to the carpet by the league. So, Petro's a pretty honest player every day. I can attest to that. We love the way he plays the game for us, and that'll get settled between people outside of, myself and the people commenting on it.
Do you think it's just going to get more and more physical, or do you think guys now 2-2 is so close will back off?
Well, the physicality is okay. It's playoff hockey, right? It's what happens in each way is, when a team gets behind, I think they're also under a microscope a little more too, because the natural thing, we're going to go, and so that can lend to both teams being getting a little frustrated if they don't feel like they're getting the calls go their way. So the physicality is fine. Clean physicality is fine, and the stuff that isn't should be addressed and should be managed in game by the officials. That's the way I look at it. And both sides have commented on where they feel it's there and it's not there, and that's it.
You said north in your first answer there. In Game 3, you could count how many times you guys dumped the puck in, and it didn't seem like you were able to get that part of your game going.
Well, the first touch is important. You got to get out of your end, first of all, get through the neutral zone. We've said it all along, our best hockey we've played against both Winnipeg and Edmonton is when we've been fairly clean out of our zone and playing in behind their D. It's a good formula for us. We've scored on the rush because the counter of that is that, D will start to leak back to try to get a head start and breaking pucks out, and you get some ice in front of them. So it can lead to, different ways to score, but that's where we have to put pressure on Edmonton. They got some dangerous forwards. They got dangerous D joining the rush, so if you can limit some of that by forechecking well, then I think you have a better chance to win.
Will you look at your lineup at all for Game 5?
We always do. I mean, I have faith in the guys that are in there. The guys that we haven't used are good players for us too. They've helped us win this year, so if that's what we got to do, we will. But that's something we'll discuss as a staff today and see if there's a better answer.
Did you see last night, Aiden, how he came out of it, what you thought, what you saw, and then now thinking about how he played?
Well, I mean, I don't know if the outcomes, I don't have a crystal ball on what, if we get this save or that save. All I know is he needs to play. He hasn't played a lot, so he made some good saves, and other ones we could have we needed for timely saves, and they're still good goals. I'd say that about our goals in Game 3. We scored good goals, and they probably needed timely saves to stay in the game because they weren't on top of their game. That's a little bit more of the situation, I think. It's not like we're sitting there, 4 goals. Could we have used the Ekholm save, for example? It's 2-0, and now it's 3-0, and that separates you a little more than, especially with a dynamic offensive team, or the power play, whatever it is. We needed another save early. But we needed to prevent the play from happening is what we needed to do, is more accurate, so he wasn't put in that position. But we put him in that position, and that's on all of us.
Their power play, really good in the first two games, and you've held them to just one power play goal over the last two. You have tweaked your penalty kill there. Are you pleased with what's happening there right now?
Yeah, I mean, they beat us from distance last night, so they got to give something up. And we know Bouchard's dangerous. He scored a bunch against us, so we are going to have to make sure that we keep pushing him farther away from the net. But at the end of the day, I've said it, if we can limit Ozone chances and force him to execute under a little more pressure, that has benefited us lately. So that'll be the game plan again, but it is better. It's better than it was at the start, and that's what you want. You want your whole game to be there that way. Special teams could have made a big difference last night if our power play cashes in. I actually thought our power play generated some good looks. We just didn't finish, and maybe you can neutralize that part of the game because at the end of the day, they outplayed us 5-on-5, and which has been our advantage. So if that's going to happen, then we better win the special teams game, and that didn't happen either.